Alright, please stand up. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please. Come on. Here. Larner. Here. Hewitt. Menzel. Hoover. Here. Sedell.
Yes.
Vicky. Here. Thank you. No statement at this time. At this time, we'll need someone to motion to approve the agenda. So moved. Support. Motion's been made and supported to approve the agenda. All those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? This time we'll report a public statement regarding current agenda items only. This time we'll need a motion to approve the consent agenda. So, support. Motion been made, supported to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Carries. Next up, accounts payable. $322,190.77. So moved.
Support.
Motion's been made and supported. All those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Next up, we have a root note invoice for $1,315.
Motion to pay group note invoice of $1,315.
Support. Motion's been made and supported. All those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained?
Abstain.
Carries. Moving on into new business, ready for introduction none. And for action. Adopt resolution 2024-03, purchase land at 108 East Broad Street for $3,345. Basically, purchasing the land.
I make a motion to adopt the resolution 2024-03 to purchase the land at 108 East Broad Street for $3,345.70.
Support. Motion's been made, supported. We'll do a roll call vote. Vicky?
Yes.
Shell?
Yes.
Cole? Yes. Carter?
Yes.
Hewitt?
Yes.
Menzel?
Yes.
Hoover? Yes. You have the resolution. You have it. No. Right, next up is set public hearing for ordinance amendment 2024-1 and 2024-2, amendments to dissolve the amendments 2022-1 and 2022-2. Lee, what's the time? Once it's published, you need so many days.
We'll be at the next meeting, but you could do this at
July 2nd.
June 18th.
June 18th. Do we have a motion?
I need to ask a couple questions.
Sure.
In case you have to do that. Concerning the amendments, it was stated that on E-Way that that whole property out there is one special use and up there for the whole.
I believe that's how they did it, yes.
Okay, so my question would be, if we had to revoke the special use permit for a business out there, are we shutting down the whole E-Way?
We wouldn't revoke a special use permit, we revoke their license.
What if they're not doing the conditions of the special use permit?
Somebody on that property would be growing. If everybody stopped growing for a year, then they would lose the special permit.
If you've got conditions that are they're not doing the conditions of the special use permit.
But if they don't have a growing license, a special use permit's worthless anyway.
There's conditions attached to the special use permit.
Well, agreed, but if we don't allow them to grow, then the special use permit doesn't do them any good because they can't grow. It's a useless permit then.
Can you do that?
We can take their licenses, yeah.
For even if they're conditions.
If they're not meeting the standards of what we want, then yes, we could take their licenses.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
but it wouldn't affect if, just for example, place A is doing it correctly and place B isn't, and they're, both at even weight. You wouldn't take their special use permit away because then it would affect place
That's
A.
exactly what
You
I'm,
would just
that's what I'm
take-
asking.
You would just
Yeah.
take B's licenses away.
Well, I just think, I thought that would be unfair if you got one special
Sure.
permit and you're
Right.
dissolving the whole.
Right. We would just take their license, or revoke the license.
Right, and, we were talking about capping on the special use permits, and I see that, caregivers in town need to have a special use permit to grow. Are we capping anything on the special use, or on the, caregivers?
Keith has the sheet that we,
It wasn't discussed at the last meeting, so that's why I'm asking.
I thought we were capping licenses, not permits.
That we were capping special use permits.
Camping special use permits.
there are no grow
And some licenses, because the sales point, we kept that at 2.
Right,
And that's not a
for
special use, that's
storefronts.
their license.
there are currently no home grows with special use permits in town.
There's no,
Caregiver.
Or sorry, caregiver with a special use permit. So if they're growing and they're a caregiver, they're growing illegally.
so are we not gonna be capping anything on caregivers then?
We don't have it, we don't offer
What
it.
happens if they're down the road, it comes in?
That would be up for you guys to decide if you wanna add them. If you wanna let caregivers grow or not, but
Just
currently
so-
we don't offer it.
Just so you guys, everybody's aware, if we vote yes on this, I'm immediately turning around and sending it back to finance and admin to come up with the numbers on what we want. Come back with recommendations on the number of licenses and special use permits that we wanna set caps on. So that would be a point to bring up for sure. At least let some, well, now it's out there, so,
That's what I mean, it wasn't discussed about the caregivers, so I was wondering if we were gonna be doing any capping on.
Yeah, I don't think it even occurred to anybody, honestly.
The
Other
hardest,
towns said we haven't.
well, the hardest part is enforcement,
Right,
because that's in a private residence.
right, even though.
I mean, I'm not disagreeing with your thought, but it's the same question we've had now for almost the 4 years I've been here, is how do you enforce, or how do you
I
track?
don't know how you say that you can't enforce it, because the way I talked to Lara about it, they said any code officer of any municipality or law enforcement can walk up to an individual's door that knows they're growing and ask them if they're a caregiver or personal grow. And if they say caregiver, they're supposed to show their cards for their patients and themselves. They're supposed to.
But if they say caregiver, they're growing illegally.
That's what it is.
Immediately,
Mhm.
full stop, because there's no special use permits for caregivers in town.
Well, it just concerns me because you got a property over here advertising for a caregiver on there for when they're selling their.
And it's incorrect. I mean, they can put that, they can put anything in that listing, it is not correct that they can grow marijuana there. The village is not given any special use permits to grow there. They wrote that, they're incorrect, that's it.
Kinda like,
They wrote it, I don't know why they wrote it, people have called me on it, I've told them no. There's no special use permit on that property.
that was the same as that Braun property, remember that? Yeah. You were on board, right? Yeah, they were advertising it as licensed, and it was not.
And it's not.
So then the ordinance officer should go knock on a door.
That's where
I mean, that's-
Lansing got screwed on there.
You're gonna advertise it.
Are you suggesting adding caps to those permits as well then, for caregiver?
I mean, we're capping, well, the facilities, I mean, why not be capping the,
I mean, I look at it, like a caregiver is doing that as they're not growing it for themselves, they're growing it for
they
money.
grow for themselves also.
Well, sure, but they're also growing it for money, it's a commercial area, right? So they need to do it in the areas with zone or set up for that.
They're required to have a special use permit in certain zones.
Correct.
Yes.
So I think, I agree with you, there should be.
And if they don't have it though, and they're growing, it's
Then
illegal.
it's
Yes.
right.
Well, anybody that's growing right now is illegal if they're in those zones.
Unless it's personal, right? I think they can grow
If they're
personal.
over 12 plants,
Yeah.
they're illegal.
Right.
So right now, currently the village has 0 special use permits for caregivers. We don't have any of them anywhere. So anybody over 12 plants, I think it's 12, is illegal.
I can't follow both conversations. Are there things that we should all, I can't follow both conversations. Are there things that we should all know that you guys are,
Simple question is, what's the legalities of the HIPAA rights?
okay. I just wanna make sure to hear everybody and I
Caregivers.
listen to both.
I don't think it applies. We'd have to get a ruling on it, but it's not, they're not a doctor, they're not a clinical setting, they're not bound by HIPAA.
No, but the card and the state are both registered for medical records.
Is it?
The medical part of it is.
Because the caregiver is done through a prescription and it's done through medical records.
Who's gonna see the cards other than the code officer and the law?
Oh, no, here's the thing, I'm
That's
not,
what I mean.
oh, no, I'm not,
Interesting.
I'm not arguing whether we cap it or don't, that really has no bearing to me, because it's a caregiver. I mean, I can see both ways and you can flip a coin in my mind. Because here's the other problem, if you knock on the door, because the residents can't be inspected, the officer has no right to walk in the door. All they don't have to fess up to being a caregiver, all they have to just say is, I'm growing for myself, it's leisure. And then they skip the whole permit and everything's over anyway. Doesn't matter how many plants are in there, because we have no right to walk in the door.
If the law enforcement wants, I mean, if they suspect them to do, have violent information if they are growing more than 12 plants, we have to get a warrant.
And that's,
And then we do.
well, agreed, and that's the question, is what's the legalities of entering a residence in trying to find out and counting plants? I've been told that with caregivers, as long you cannot enter a residence even if you smell pot, it doesn't matter. You need to warrant, and now, but if the officer walks in for, say, domestic reasons and can spot something obvious to the naked eye, then there's cause or there's probable cause. But you can't smell pot and just say, I'm gonna go count your plants.
I'm not a legal officer, so I don't know.
And that's why I said this is just what I've been told. I have no idea. I mean, like I said, I'm not opposed to putting a cap on it. I just, it
Do
comes.
we have a cap on pharmacies in town?
Agreed. I said for me, it's a flip of a coin.
I'm not especially fond of capping anything, but this is a special one.
The hard part about caregivers is you just have to be careful about the rights.
Or the patient's rights.
It-
It's
well,
a legal medical card that they receive from a doctor, and here we are trying to tell people how they can and can't get their medicine. Yeah, everybody's gonna walk into every one of these pharmacies and pick up probably medications that are far worse than cannabis, and no one in this room has a problem.
Who's gonna see their cards? That's what I'm asking. Who's gonna see?
Why are you trying, when you wanna cap something, you're trying to cap something where people get their medicine.
I'm going off what they wanna do. What you guys wanna do is cap it. You wanna cap special permits, and it's required by the ordinance that.
Well, we don't really have one for a host.
I'm throwing the question out there, are we capping caregivers?
I think that'll be a discussion for the finance. I would like them to go through every option, so we've got growers, the store, retail outlets, what was the other one? Mini, micro business, shipping, transport, transportation, laboratories, labs, and the consumption subject. But none of it matters.
So that's, we just still have we got enough time to know all this before the next public hearing?
What would happen, this would be its own public hearing. This thing right here. And then at the next meeting, after the public hearing or somewhere the same day, we would discuss what the finance and admin is coming at, schedule another public hearing and set those up. So yeah, there'll be a little gap in between the two, but we don't have to have it. They said, oh, the thing's off, we're gonna send you 100, new business. I mean, we got a deal. anybody wanna make a motion?
I'll make a motion for a public hearing for ordinance amendments 2024-1 and -2 for dissolving the amendments on 2022-01 and 02 on June 18th.
Support.
Motion's been made and supported, and I'll do a roll call vote here.
Toma?
Yes.
Warner? Yes. Buick?
Yes.
Renzo?
Yes.
Hoover?
Yes.
Shadowd?
Yes.
Vicky?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries, which, now sets up the trigger, finance and admin, please make some recommendations on account of licenses and for special permits for each of the categories, include the caregivers as well. And also think really hard about how that impacts our bottom line. All right, next up, we have authorized President Hoover to sell unused property. It's not a blanket statement, we have the parcel of land in your packet, in the last page. It's the old peat ponds, and the area that I'm specifically interested in is between, I think, 6 and 8 acres minus the railroad tracks on Baldwin Road north of the ponds. So if you're looking at this, did you have this one here? No. Okay, so we've got the birding area where you come in off Sharon. Everybody's familiar with that. And we've got the peat ponds, and then the little land to the south that's kind of landlocked. But Baldwin Road has some really nice looking wooded acreage right there that should be buildable for homes. And this is what I'm talking about, specifically residential. To put that up for sale. And I'd like to go through a conventional means of listing it, and we are sure you have some of these interested. Find out the market rate is, the fair market value, and then once if you get some offers for fair market value, the council will approve the sale. It's somewhere between 6 and 8, I'm guessing.
It just depends on what the train tracks take out of it, and I don't know the math on it, but they're the tracks that go through it, so.
And I talked to a realtor about it, and said your best option, if you're gonna do little lots, would be between 2 and 3 acres, and they have to be a minimum of water there. So between 2 and 3 acres, almost a valley lot, so it can either be 1 big lot, 2 small lots, 3 small lots. You know, but if someone comes in and says, hey, I'll give you, let's say fair market value is $3 grand. So I'll give you $3 grand an acre for all of it. For you guys. Hopefully, we need the money to pay for that thing over there and all the other stuff. Plus the building. Plus, tax revenue always. Oh, yeah. That was my thought. So if I'll get it listed. Well, first find out fair market value. Talk to the person that's made the offer, have them, they're serious about it, but that falls through. I'll probably start listing it for sale.
I'll make a motion to authorize President Hoover to sell unused property owned by the village of Chesaning.
Support.
Motion's been made and supported. All those in favor, you know what, we'll do a roll call on this one too. Toma?
Yes.
Warner?
Yes.
Hewitt?
Yes.
Wenzel?
Yes.
Hoover?
Yes.
Shadowd?
Yes.
Vicky?
Yes.
Thank you. All right. Well, hopefully we can get that moving soon. If anybody's interested in a nice wooded lot on Baldwin Road, boy, have I got the property for you.
Neighbors to Joe.
Huh?
Neighbors to Joe Luque.
Yeah, there you go. Well, the nice thing is you would never have anybody behind you, and across the street is a scrapyard, so it'll probably always be a scrapyard. Always is a long time. All right, next up, committee reports, infrastructure,
No meeting.
finance and admin. Public safety, we did meet today, we talked to the chief about a couple of issues, nothing major, and checking in on where we're at with our finances, and what's going on with the fair and all those things. We have some work to do on keeping overtime tamped down a little bit, but other than that, I think we're making the right strides. That was about it. VDA,
And we meet on the 12th.
Chamber will meet later this month. Planning,
The meeting was canceled due to the possibility that we were getting a generator, but I think the weather hindered that, or?
We got it the next day.
Did we? Okay.
We generated, but
They were
I
gonna,
didn't know if we'd have power,
Shut
so
power
I
off.
canceled.
is it installed and everything?
It is.
Good, power goes out. Airport?
Nope.
Fire board?
11 runs since the last meeting, bringing the total of 89. This Thursday and Friday is the blood drive out to the fire station. Sunday and Monday, we had bloodborne pathogen that everybody had to take. Ones that missed it because they're out of town, they got a makeup date coming up. Don't forget about the golf outing, June 15th. There's still a lot of openings left, and the fire board is next Wednesday at 6 o'clock on the 12th.
Thanks, Phil. When's the next blood drive?
Thursday and Friday.
This Thursday, did you just say? I've got. I'm already
6
thinking
and
about
7.
selling property.
We're Sunday at school.
Alright, task force, no meeting. Alright, Parks and Rec,
no meeting, but there's one coming.
there hopefully will be. Alright, next up, public statement, any topic limited to 3 minutes. Terry Frank Lucas.
I just want to question, the setting of the public hearing for June 18th. I asked this question last month and you guys said you would time it so that the two would happen together, so that one wouldn't be dissolved before the others were in place.
There will be a slight gap. I did mention that earlier. So we'll have the public hearing on the 18th, but that's also when the numbers will come back from finance and admin on their recommendations for any caps. We'll discuss it, and then we'll have to set a public hearing for, it would be July the 2nd.
So then will you also say that any applications received will not be reviewed until,
I mean, we'll review them, but we don't have to act on them.
will not be acted on?
Right. We don't have
But that will be made a
to.
point in the meeting so that it's clear.
I mean, we have to review them, and then it's up to us.
But to act on.
I mean, if somebody came in with the right situation, we could, but the odds of that happening are out this big. The market's seeing shrinkage, not growth, right? Anything else?
I think that's it.
Okay, Mike Navarre? Next up, council member statements. I'm gonna open with that lovely document you guys were sent from OHM. Anybody not have a chance to see that? No. It's the Showboat Park, we got it, what year was it?
The amphitheater breakdown, cost breakdown.
Obviously, the costs are no longer valid,
Well,
because it's been a couple of years and everything's changed. But what I'd like to do is look at that idea and say, yes, this is the idea we wanna move it. And that idea was removing the concrete, probably leaving the band shell in the back, stage up in the front, and then putting grass tiers in. That's easier to maintain and will allow drainage and all that good stuff. Once we get it and say, yeah, that's the direction we wanna go in, Tom can start looking for grants. Because then we've agreed that's what we're gonna do, and then we can figure out, we can start getting ideas of cost and then look for money. In addition to that, what's in that paper, I would like to turn the stage into a handicap fishing ramp, handicap accessible fishing access point. We've got the driveway, for lack of a better term, we could turn into a handicap lot right there, put a ramp up to the stage, and then around the edge, I'd put in guardrails that you could remove should you want to have a concert in there in the future. You pop them up, turn it into a stage, and then put it back. And I'm hoping, if it all goes well, I know a contractor who's Trex Decking, and I'm hoping I can write Trex and ask for some materials. Which would be great, because it lasts forever.
That's a lot.
It is a long time. Well, not forever. Forever is a long time, you're right. But that's the idea. So if we vote on it, really not much is gonna happen, because next thing, I'm gonna send it back to Parks and Rec and say, which buildings are we keeping, which ones are we knocking down?
Some of them
That's
probably don't.
kind of, look kind of bad.
Yeah, they're pretty rough. But some of them are good yet,
Yeah.
and salvageable, so we should keep those if we can maybe do something with them. But
The village owns everything else except the Boy Scouts.
we
right?
own the entire park. Now,
Well, I mean, the building wise.
we own all.
I thought the Boy Scouts owned.
There's some contention about that, but,
I think they were given permission to use it.
yeah, I'm not sure how that happened. We don't have any legal written documents. So.
Because I said something to them before, they said we own, the Boy Scouts said that they own the building.
Well,
So I don't know.
I don't pick it up block by block and move it, but the ground under is ours.
How long was the lease to Joe for the?
We never did.
Never did.
Never did that. I'm still, if the Parks Committee
Okay.
says that's a good idea, I'm still interested in it. They agreed to fix it up, you know,
Yeah,
do all this stuff.
Yep.
Sounds great.
We still have to deal with, I think KC owns the other half, or runs the other half of the building.
And maybe, you know, so that's gonna be the Parks Committee recommendation, but do we divide it in half? Do we let them lease the whole thing? You know, what does that look like? And historically, those have always been for local businesses that use during events, so it'd be nice to see it stay that way. With the ones that are salvageable. Not the ones that have, you know, raccoon feces that kills the water.
I mean, I'd like to have the stage there, Shakespeare in the park, maybe the high school can move back to do some sort of commencements to utilize that area again. If we, especially the grassy knoll type setup, I think would be very.
Let's not call it the grass. But I know what you mean.
What's bad around the stage? It's not,
The stage is still okay.
It's in front and in the middle.
like some
Yeah.
erosion or something?
Where the bleachers were and the seats,
Mhm.
the concrete is caving in because the sand is washing out underneath of it, creating a void. And
That's where the drain goes through.
On the north wing is.
Yeah.
Missing.
You know,
I mean, is that fixable? I mean, is it fixable or?
No.
No.
probably not, no. I mean, it's, no.
The
Let's say
cost,
no.
the
From
last
my
time.
understanding, when that was created, from one of the people that helped put that together, said that at the time that it was done, people from the village or wherever were able to just come and dump their trash in
Yeah.
there to fill
There's some
the
cars
hole.
in there and
So, from my understanding, there's refrigerators, washers, dryers,
Car.
appliances, there's a car in there, interesting.
Jimmy Hoffley.
And it's, I don't know.
that's what they said.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if.
So my guess is as things are settling,
It's a
rotting,
$18, yeah.
Oh, Jim gave us a fixed price, but it was, just astronomical,
Right.
stupid number, and that was, of course, not knowing the underneath, that wasn't even a capped number, but it was some stupid number.
Probably be much better off to rip all that concrete up, grind it, put down that geogrid stuff, fill that with the stone, and then you put sod on top of that, so that there's a nice place for the water to go. That's the problem in north of the water to go, it's just ripping.
Whatever happened when we tore the tower down? Whatever happened to that?
Still
The
big.
sound-
Still
the
laying
sound-
there.
Still there?
The light crew?
Yeah.
Yeah, we just took it, and took it down and cut it up.
Kind of about ready to fall out.
Yeah.
They did cut that up and move it. A lot of steel. Could've been a free cut it.
Recycle.
What's that?
I mean, recycle it.
Recycled.
I'm
sure
sure
they're scrapping.
So all I'm looking for is a vote to say, yes, this is the right direction we want it.
I'll make a motion to renovate the amphitheater in Shovel Park with the intention of turning it into a grass hill stage.
Start looking for money.
Or looking for funding to renovate the stage and amphitheater in Shovel Park for a grass hill.
That's also what you
That's it. Everything will be in.
Isn't that, I mean, even if we renovate, that's not grandfathered in, I mean, ADA, isn't that pretty much guaranteed a part
Even
of
if
it?
it wasn't, we would do it.
Oh, no, agreed, but I mean,
All right, we have motion and support. All those in favor, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Parks Committee, if you could please have a meeting there, and we probably won't be there to address this until Is any other council member have statements?
Yeah, so past week, golf carts again.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and that also came up in the police meeting, and I forgot to mention it. We are going to look at a.
Cause I told Rebecca that, there's a golf cart going down the, right lane there from Frank's all the way down to Wood Street. There's a right one.
On the highway?
On the highway. And that broad line, there was a lady with her husband sitting on the other side with a kid in the back, while the kid was driving the golf cart. Looked like 5 years old.
You know, that's okay in your own driveway, on your own.
I know. You can't do it in the car in that.
Just see somebody get in their lap, right down by the lake, it would be easy to drive.
Definitely, looking forward to seeing what she brings us on. Ways to tamp that down.
I mean, we have to put in the paper, saying, hey,
I think it'd be more effective just to start.
Right.
Writing them up or yanking their golf carts. Do it 2 times, 3 times. I think my answer was we take it, put a sticker that says Billy Chesting on it. Anything else, Phil?
Nope.
Anybody else?
All right, next up, there are staff reports, who's chief?
I got a few things. Officer Catherine Wood is now part of the countywide accident scene investigation group. The sheriff's department actually runs it, and then they pick officers from different departments, and they make a team. So when there's any serious crashes, they respond. It was a 2-week course through Michigan State Police, which they paid for, that she was able to attend, so that's something we are partnering with the sheriff's department, to be able to work with them on.
Is that for like determining cause or just for?
No, it's mostly like, if we think an accident could be a fatal accident, they go out and do measurements and collect data, serious crashes like that. Speaking of that, we had a serious traffic crash, May 28th, over at Main and Sunnyside. It was a head-on crash between a vehicle and a semi. The diesel lost a lot of diesel fuel. Thankfully, thankful to the fire department and our DPW and Tri-Township, they were able to contain it, and we don't believe and got in the river. Eagle came out, MDOT was here, everybody did a great job protecting the river and the diesel from spreading.
What would they have done? Pitch toward the river? They set it on fire or they did?
No, they put
it's a
sand.
bulldozer.
Yeah, they put a bunch of sand.
We put sand all around any of the drainage and all that. They put pads down, bags and everything else, and one of the guys went down to the drains on the river, and just very little, a couple of drops, he said, just see the key on top of the water, but they got 99% of it, so.
Good. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. Just racing towards the river, the only way to stop it is probably terrible.
No, DPW, they were there,
Yeah.
like, really quick with sand. They came right out, Hedrich brought a truckload of sand, it was,
Nice.
yeah, it was very nice. Everybody worked together, and
Love
the
it.
patient had to be extricated, so the fire department was handling that. They did a great job.
And truck driver not have a kid in his truck. Write that up. Is that a spill kit?
Well, like, would it cover that much? Like his whole.
It comes with a boom so you can set it out, so you can unravel it, throw it on the side when you see the fuel go off. So he should have had that kid in his truck.
Yeah, I don't think he did that.
First thing you do is you have that happen, jump
Yeah, he was
off.
probably all.
Yeah,
Really
he
pretty
did that.
nice.
Yeah.
Right. Was he hurt?
The truck driver was not hurt. The driver of the car, he suffered several broken bones. He's undergone several surgeries. He had internal injuries, but they're expecting him to make it. So.
You dance with a tractor, you lose.
And last thing, we're undergoing a report writing system changeover right now, which is kind of a huge project. It was kind of spearheaded by the sheriff's department, and then the departments followed suit, because we all have the same report writing system to be able to share reports. So we've been working on that, to be able to do training. The report writing system we were using has a lot of bugs, it's outdated. The process is very slow. So the police chiefs and the sheriff's department, we kind of all decided and looked into a specific report writing system, and that's what we decided on. So we're in the process of training and changing everything over right now. Oh, yeah.
Hey, Chief. Administrator.
As you said last Tuesday, we installed a generator, or tried to install a generator. The storm kind of kiboshed that, so Wednesday morning, bright and early, Glenn Cooper was out there installing the generator, so we now have a police station that when the power goes out, they will have power. Also the village office. Then a big,
Does your internet go out when the power goes out?
yeah.
I know,
Is it,
does it still go out if you got a generator? I don't have a generator, so I don't know.
No, if you put a battery on it, it'll run for a little while.
Yeah.
But like
I
everything.
mean, does the Wi-Fi go out if the
yes.
power goes out? But your generator
It
stays
does.
on.
Right, so we have battery backups here that will keep it up alive until the generator gets on. So our internet will stay out.
Okay.
As long as the generator comes on like it's supposed to. But there's battery backups instead of.
No, I'm just wondering if you could still use internet on a generator.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
what I
for
meant.
sure, yeah.
Okay.
No, I mean, unless there's the storm knocks the line out that provides it, you know, like out there, like the utility line that has the cable, or the internet on it, but yes. Also, big thank you to the Chesaning High School, for the beautification day. Massive success. Hundreds of high school students from all grades participated. Big thanks to Mark Schultz and the DPW. They got everything ready, and we're working with the kids all morning. Officer Matt Henry was out there doing great things. Rod Cantu was a big help. At the school, Erica Berkmeyer, Principal Vinky, all the other teachers, parents, residents. Danielle was out there working with kids on the boulevard. And then a huge shout out to Crystal Nudomsky, who kind of put all this together. It went so well, better than last year, and last year went really good. So it's just been getting better. Massive success. So thank you to the school.
I had a question for DDA. Is the military posters on the boulevard, are they all filled? Are they still taking posters?
They're
They
filled
got-
this year.
Okay. So,
Next year they'll take more.
yeah, okay. I didn't know, some of you said they didn't know if it was filled, but they still take applications for this year.
They gotta order those all at one time, so they'll
Okay.
order them again next year.
Okay.
And that's it.
I forgot to mention, I would like to congratulate Donna on her 25 years of service to the village. That was stuff. I mean, like, yeah, 25 years she's been here. A wealth of institutional knowledge.
Yes.
And we had a little lunch for her on Thursday.
We missed it.
So, a lot of people showed up. It was very nice. So, 25 years. The next one, I believe we have a DPW worker, Kyle, 7 years away from being here 25 years. And it's quite an achievement.
That's one way to look at it.
It's a long time.
It is a long time.
It's awesome.
Well, good for them, and we appreciate it.
She said, I told her 25 more, and then we'll let her retire.
Sure. Thanks, Don. All right, next up is the marijuana work session. Does anyone have anything? We'll be getting into this stuff.
I have some. I know we're working on licenses and stuff, and I just want maybe some of you guys to think about it. I mean, I've been hearing that down the road that we like to get away from outdoor grow, and I think this would be like maybe the time that maybe we could start moving in that direction if we're sincere about doing it. I could have a suggestion, and I don't know if you guys want to talk about it at a later time, but I think maybe we could grandfather all the outdoor grow in right now,
Funny you mentioned.
and
I actually reached out.
grandfather all of them in,
Yeah.
and if something would happen to the business by folding, then I think we could make something that only allows them for indoor grow. Start eliminating it.
I actually reached out to Tom today, and he's reaching out to our attorney to find out if we can say open grow, commercial open grow, that's all we can regulate. It's
Yeah.
only allowed in these areas, and then, like you said, later down the road, if we wanted to, we could just slowly start walking it back a little bit. But the first step is saying it's only allowed here, if we can do that. Normally, it hasn't been a problem yet, but I don't want it to do. So it goes right along with what you're saying. If we say, these are the areas, we're basically grandfathering it in, because it'll be the areas where it's already happening. And then down the road, we decide, like you said, if one folds up, do we say no more, or we do that? That's a later problem, but it's
Something to think about.
good call. You read my brain, and it's already in motion.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Or you're forcing me to meet everybody else, so this doesn't matter.
Everybody needs more key time.
Yeah. But anyway, if anyone wants to know, currently there's, as we drew up the numbers to find out what we had, there's currently 8 special use permits in the village. 2 retailers, we wrote 0 micro businesses, 2 transporter permits, because we used to have 2 and there were 2, then they went away, and there's no reason not to allow a transporter permit. Because not that big a deal.
True.
So it's someone just moving stuff around, but apparently now we're looking at a bunch of other stuff. So
All of them.
I hope it will all down to. But those are the current ones. And those are the numbers that would go in place or with the new write-up of that ordinance.
Also keep in mind, we don't have to limit them.
We don't have to
We
limit
don't have
it.
to.
But that's the paragraph that's in here. The village council may review and amend the above maximums by resolutions annually or as it determines to be advisable. And such revision shall not be the basis for termination or non-renewal of a permit previously issued. That's how a couple other municipalities write theirs up, so. We don't have that currently written like that. Right? That's it. Since I gotta get other numbers. Motion to adjourn.
Support. Motion's been made and supported to adjourn. All those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We are adjourned.
What did I miss? Oh.